It's Friday, March 20th, 2026. It's the first day of spring for 2026, but we got some severe weather to talk about in this video and some stuff to talk about in Hawaii, so let's jump straight into it. So I do want to first off start with the severe weather that we're expecting over the next few days. So as you can see right here, we do have a marginal risk for today. This is nothing crazy at all. Just a few isolated severe thunderstorms that are capable of producing a isolated tornado or two. With a chance for, I would say, also some severe winds, as you can see here, and then some hail. As you can see, this is a level 1 out of 5 marginal risk outlined by the Storm Prediction Center. This is a general risk, which is just for like some thunderstorms being a possibility going around it. Tomorrow, though, for March 21st, for Saturday, March 21st, if you're down here from Knoxville, Tennessee, all the way down to Charlotte, North Carolina, you do need to be watching for potential isolated severe storms that mainly have the potential for hail. But winds aren't going to be a big concern, nor tornadoes. Sunday is going to be the big day, though. Sunday, March 22nd, we got a marginal risk expanding from southern Illinois all the way up towards Pennsylvania, where a few scattered severe storms will be a possibility. But then we got a level 2 out of 5 marginal risk. Now, this one does include Louisville, Cincinnati, Columbus, Pittsburgh, and Morgantown, where some severe storms will be a possibility, and an isolated tornado or two cannot be ruled out. And that's the area outlined by Storm Prediction Center as well. So our future radar, this is our future radar for today's potential storms right here. So here's the future radar. As you can see here, we're going to have some snow up here in parts of the northeast, but the severe weather is going to be happening down there, maybe even some rain over here in these areas. But yeah, a few locally strong wind gusts will be a possibility with these storms. So let me show you guys the future radar for this so that you can see when these storms might pop up here. As you can see here, as we get into the evening, which by the time making this is around 4 p.m. Eastern, we're going to have some of these storms pop up over here. Some of them could be, severe potentially, but as we get more into the evening, these storms will pop up. As you can see right here, there's some of those storms. This is midnight. So this might be a overnight threat as well, but as those storms will push through. And then by tomorrow, you can see the severe weather threat does continue to move down to here, where we got that marginal risk from Knoxville to Charlotte. Let me see when these storms will develop. Yeah, see the storms will start developing. It looks like maybe around the evening, the nighttime, and then go into the night is when the storm threat down there will probably begin to develop. So if we switch over to the GFS here, you can really see why this is all happening here. We're having all that moisture getting pulled up over here. And then we're going to have some of that warm air and that cold air. And then that cold front is just going to, wipe out all of that moisture as that pushes through, which you'll really see this once it comes up. But just look at some of this moisture being pulled up. It's pretty warm for some of you guys out there. As there's going to be a little bit of a warm up. We'll get to that a little bit here soon. But this is all the moisture that's being pulled up into the United States. And then we're going to have that cold front push through, which is potentially going to lead to a severe weather potential. So here's what I'm talking about as we go towards Sunday, March 22nd. Look at this. Watch this cold air come up here. That's going to push all of that moisture away, and then it might get a little bit cold after that. But you can see all that moisture that those storms are going to work with as well. But if we switch over to Cape, there's the Cape is not that crazy. I don't think it's going to be the biggest tornado potential out there. I don't think it's going to be too crazy in terms of, tornadoes. But I do think severe winds will be a pretty big concern, especially on Sunday, March 22nd. I think that it could be a pretty decent concern for some severe winds. But hail also might be a pretty big concern. So just make sure you're having alerts on all of these days, depending on if you live in any of those areas. Here's some of that Cape that pops up today, possibly. But let's go up to Sunday. We're going to have some CAPE stands for Conservative Available Potential Energy. See, look at all that CAPE pop up. Again, it's nothing crazy, but some of it will pop up. I think the peak will probably be around 2 p.m., depending on when the storms will develop. But that's just the Conservative Available Potential Energy CAPE. So that's what's going on with that. So So just make sure you're having a way to get alerts if you live in this area on today, March 20th, in this area tomorrow, March 21st, in this area on March 22nd. So we'll get more updates as we get closer to Sunday, though. So I think definitely the area of concern will change a little bit. Could go a little bit more south, could kind of stay near that area. Could go a little bit north, could go a little bit east, could go a little bit west. So that's what's going on in terms of severe weather. Now, a few excessive rainfall chances will be a possibility today up here for today, March 20th. Okay, so let's talk about some of the temperatures now, okay? Because it's going to be pretty warm, especially if you live towards the western United States. So, as you can see, look at all this warmth over here. You can see some of it's making its way all the way over here into parts of the Midwest. It's going to be pretty warm over there, but you'll be able to see the cold front around Sunday, March 22nd. Well, once we fast forward it, but you could just see all this cold air. I mean, all this warm air. But if we fast forward it up to March 22nd, when that severe weather is going to happen, we're going to see that we're going to have those warm air clashing with that cold air, and then we'll have that cold front push through. So around March 22nd, it's going to get a little bit more cold again, but I think we'll see some of that warm air try to come back again. So, yeah, over here it's going to be pretty warm. Record-breaking temperatures already have been set, so that's pretty much what's going on. As you can see here, the Climate Prediction Center is also expecting this warmth to stay as well. As you can see, mainly these areas, if you live in these more orange and red areas for the next 6 to 10 days, above average temperatures are possible. Same if you live in these if you live in these more blue-looking areas, those are for below average temperatures. But if you live in that gray, just normal. A 30% chance of near normal temperatures, above average. Pretty much the same thing. But anyways, that's the temperature outlook and everything. So yeah, you might have heard me talk about Hawaii in the intro of this video, and that's true. Let's move over to Hawaii, where we do have a flash flood type of stuff going on. We got flash flood emergency out here in places near Honolulu. I mean, this is pretty crazy. This is a flash flood warning, but this is a flash flood emergency here. And I mean, this is life-threatening flash flooding, so if you're out here, make sure you please get above ground. We even got a flash flood warning observed in here as well. So it's a very dangerous situation. We got some flooding in Hawaii. Honolulu, not trying to scare you guys, but there's also going to be a flooding potential over there. But if you're inside of this purple area, you really need to be getting above ground immediately. So just wanted to mention that because that's what's going on. I just wanted to note that. And then that's probably about it, but let me just talk about some of the type of fire weather that we could be seeing here. Let's go over to that outlook. As you can see here, critical fire risks going on over here in parts of Wyoming, so please make sure you're staying aware for fires. It even continues tomorrow on March 21st. That's all I got. Thank you guys for watching today's video. And please make sure you're staying weather aware. A few thunderstorms will be a possibility in parts of southeastern Florida today. Nothing crazy. And that will also continue for severe weather in some other places. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to click that like button, slam that bell icon, and I'll see you in the next weather update video. Have a wonderful day, and bye.